Hello. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Hyvää uutta vuotta. 2025. 2025, baby. We back. What's up? Hey, Polio, JF, Anni, Doomsday. Welcome in. Have I forgotten Finnish? Probably. I took the holiday to relax. I did not practice much Finnish. All right, so we're just going to be putting the training wheels back on. Not that we ever were able to ride without the training wheels, if we're following this metaphor. But yeah, that's yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for dropping in. Happy New Year to you all. Good to have you back. How was your holiday? Maybe you're still on holiday. Yeah, what is this? Pitkästä aika Suomea. A long time. See this. I see words. I see pitkä means long. Aika means time. Suomea means Finnish. But I but I don't understand how they fit together. All right. So, okay. And then you also read then vieläköhän Tyler osaa. And this is like, still does Tyler still know? Something like that. You guys, I'll go with Google Translate. It's a bit easier. Uh-oh, I got Swedish selected. That's anathema. That's gonna upset some people already. Starting 2025 on a good note here. After a long time, pitkästä aika Suomea. Wait, pitkästä aikaa just means after a long time. Why is there a comma here? Suomea vieläköhän Tyler osaa. That's why maybe that's why I'm confused, because I'm thinking that this should be here. New Year, new temptations. Uusi vuosi, uudet kujet. New Year, new kujet. I assume that means temptations. Temptaciones. New Year, new tricks. Uudet temput. You didn't celebrate much Doomsday, just eating pizza. Syödä pizza. Yeah. David Attenborough is a true legend when it comes to our nature. Who has traveled more than him? Hatunnosto Hanel. Wait, why are you talking about David Attenborough? Is this a... Are you just a big fan of David Attenborough? Or is there some hats off to him? My problem is I'm always expecting that you guys are making some clever joke. Anni, you might just be like, you know, David Attenborough, what a great guy. And I'm not picking up that there could be a joke here that I don't get. I don't know. Oh, he's on TV1 right now. Well, I'm on TV Tyler, okay? The only channel that matters right now. Tulipa pelailtua uutta Indyä. Nyt on hyvä pitää taukoa, kun alue vaihtuu. JS, welcome in. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what you said. No, what is this? You're talking about trees, maybe? Tulipa, is that tulips? Pilailtua, is that something about games or playing? Because pelata pilailtua? Nu uta indua, no idea. Now is Nuton hyvä pitää taukoa. I should know tauko, but I don't remember what that means. But it's like, now there is good long break. Tauko is a break. Kun alue vaihtui. When one alue. Oh, when the place? And then I don't remember vaihtui. I don't know. So let's get some help here. Google Translate, help me out. Guys, I took a nap before starting this stream. And I'm still kind of groggy. I'm still in a dream state right now. Poo is phew. Okay, does not refer to a tree in this case. We've been playing a new indie. Oh, okay. I don't know about this. Tulipa. I guess that's from like tulla, like to come. Like we just came from playing a new indie game. Now it's good to take a break as the region changed. What? The region changed? What? Yeah, I'm a little lost. JS. Google Translate isn't helping me out right now. Hey 27, what's up? How are you? There's a product called Tyler 7-inch portable rechargeable battery powered HD TV. Sign me up. I need to be recharged. I took a nap to get recharged, but it wasn't enough. I probably needed 30 minutes, but I only got 20 minutes. Anni, you're listening. I'm listening to you too, so no offense, right? My TV is always on in the evening, a habit I've had for many years. Well, thanks for including me in the good company of Sir David Attenborough. That's pretty cool. And I do enjoy his documentaries. I actually have a book by him. Yeah, The Life of Birds. I haven't read it yet, but I picked it out from the library. So yeah, David Attenborough. I love nature documentaries, and just learning about nature to me is just it's endlessly complex and beautiful, and you never exhaust it. It's almost like, imagine reading the Silmarillion and the histories of the elves, except times 1 trillion. You know, that is nature. And yes, everything does boil down to a Tolkien analogy in my life. All right. If it can't be boiled down to Tolkien, then I don't understand. But honestly, that actually would be a good... Like, can I join a church of Tolkien? Like, I know Tolkien was Catholic, but can I become religious about Tolkien stuff, and we rewrite the hymns to be Tolkien songs or something, and we just like get together, we sing together, and then we have like a Tolkien priest? How cool would that be? Who's like, the reading for today comes from the book of Shelob. No, there would not be a book of Shelob, but we'd be like, chapter, is that I don't know, a shortcut to mushrooms. And then there's, and the priest gives a whole lecture on the significance of mushrooms and the significance of shortcuts, and the commentary that says that shortcuts make long delays, and inns make even longer ones, I think was the joke. But yeah, so should I just start the church? Would you guys sign up and like pay 10% of your income, please? Tax exempt. You don't know how to translate tulipa tehtyä jotain properly. 27, oh no, Tolkien lecture incoming. 27, you have been excommunicated from the Church of Tolkien. I mean, we have the Silmarillion. We have like our Bible, you know? We have the Silmarillion, that's Old Testament. And then we got The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, that's New Testament. All right. And then we also have like the, not apocryphal, but you know, like the letters to the apostles. That's all Christopher Tolkien. Christopher Tolkien is like the Saint Paul, you know, who wasn't actually a disciple, but then later became converted. You know, he was like a persecutor of Christians, but in my universe, he's a persecutor of Tolkien nerds. Nerds have been persecuted for far too long. It's time we redeem them. I will ramble about anything if it helps me avoid learning Finnish. But on that note, I should say that I'm feeling more motivated this year. Or maybe I should say I want to be more motivated this year. I don't yet feel motivated, but intellectually, I am in the process of motivating myself because I want to take the Uki test this year. I realized that at the end of this year, it will be 5 years on my current whatever residence permit. It gets pretty complicated, but basically, you can apply for citizenship after 5 years if you pass the language requirement. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try. And the language requirement is not too difficult. You don't need to be fluent. You just need the level B1, which is still too much for me. Like if I took the exam now, I wouldn't pass, probably just because my listening comprehension and my spoken comprehension are both quite low. But they're low in a way that I think I can improve rather quickly because I already know so many words and I already kind of have an understanding of the grammar on like not a surface level, but like on a more abstract level. I don't feel the language in my bones, you know, the way that you have to feel a language to speak it and to be fluent. And so I just need more practice listening and speaking. And of course, like, you know, I should definitely continue doing like Selko said, or like these are going to be really good preparations for the exam, which is also reading comprehension. And the topics that they cover like include lots of social and political and I don't know, other topics that are often covered here. So that's kind of my plan. But yeah, that's some good news, I guess, if you want to take it that way. I want to start preparing for the test. I'll probably take it in the summer sometime, just to give myself some time to practice. And I haven't made a strict plan yet, but I know that it's sort of like this year is do or die for me. Okay, maybe not, hopefully not die, but like do or don't. I've lived in Finland all these years now. I'm coming up to my graduation. It's time for me to take the final exam, you know? Yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you guys because you all have been pretty critical in my Finnish language journey. So I just wanted, to share that and say thank you. Thank you for helping me. I really mean that. Like, it really means a lot to have people in your life encouraging you and just people being consistent for you. And even though I've never actually met you guys in person, I don't even know what you look like. I recognize your usernames, and it brings me joy when you show up in chat and you're making fun of me, whatever. It goes both ways. And it encourages me. And it's like a good, it's a good practice to show up every Tuesday and to not feel so alone in my language study. I guess you could do it with anything that you're interested in. Form a community around it, and that will help. That's going to help motivate you. So, thank you. So we'll continue. We will continue with the Learn Finnish with me. There have been times when I've thought to myself, I'm just going to make it to the end of this year, and then I'm going to stop. I'm just going to stop. I'm going to just give up. This language is too much. I can't. But I don't know. I don't take life that seriously, I guess. Even if I suck. I'm gonna keep trying. Anyways, okay. Where were you guys? Also, I'm not going to be able to read all your messages, especially if they're in Finnish. Because, that's just where we are. Wait, Doomsday, you would sign up for what? Aren't there some income requirements now as well for citizenship? Well, we will see what happens. I have to double check the rules. I looked at it last week. And I think there is, but I think it's the same as like what I already have been doing, which is the minimum income requirement that I have for my residence permit as an employed person. So I think as long as I meet those same requirements, I should be okay. And then there are some other weird financial requirements, like if you've ever had any loans. Like one of my friends, he still hasn't gotten his citizenship, even though he very well easily could get it, because he took out student loans when he studied here. And you have to pay back all your student loans. You can't, which is kind of weird. Like, why is citizenship tied to student loan? Like having paid back all your loans before you can become a citizen. I don't know. That just kind of sounds weird. That just seems weird. But yeah. Anni. Hope you're coming to terms with your health in the future. The income you get when you're working isn't even comparable to what you get from the social services. Yeah. Yes, and of course they've... it doesn't seem like the government is in any mood to improve the situation for people out of work or just struggling. Life is such a struggle. I was thinking about this, how life is better together. And I do love living in Finland. At least by comparison, like America's not the worst place in the world, but when it comes to social support, I'm really proud of living in a place that helps people, because we aren't little economic machines. And it annoys me when people are like, no, I don't want my taxes to go to that. As if like, You guys, you know what? The microphone buzzing is like a feature. It's not a bug. Okay, it is a moment when all of you guys jump in chat. Right? That's when it counterintuitively, it probably signals to YouTube that my channel is popular because everyone that's watching suddenly jumps into chat to let me know. It's like, whoa, his chat rate is exploding. Let's promote this live stream. But yeah, no, sorry about that. Where we're after not wanting to pay taxes, my mic got cut. I don't know. Maybe YouTube is listening, or I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know. All I was saying, microphone detected a rant. Well, then it would basically need to be cut all the time. Perfect timing with the buzz. Oh yeah. By the way, welcome in everybody. If I didn't welcome you, I think DV. I see you're new. I know in like what JS. I can't remember JF. I don't know if I welcomed you already, but Happy New Year. No, I don't know what I was talking about. I was just talking about how important it is to help people out and living in a society where we do help each other is so important, and not just leaving it up to charity. It's made a big difference in my life to have received help at times, and I'm really thankful for that. So yeah, but we'll see this year what happens. I am resilient. All right, I am coming in 2025 just at peace and one with the universe. All right, there's no need to achieve. We're just gonna vibe. The rant filter is working. DV, you like to creep in unnoticed and then drop a banger comment, you know. At the opportune moment. Thank you for that. Yeah, who wants to produce cocoa when you have to wait at least a couple of years to be able to reap what you sow? Not to mention all the bugs and diseases that infest the plants. Wait, is this a metaphor for taxes? I don't know, but yeah, I'm glad that you guys are here. Maybe that's why the microphone cut out. I was saying how much I liked you guys, and the microphone was just like, the chat does not deserve that. After all the abuse that you have endured at the hands of chat. Yeah. No, we're good. We're all good. What am I gonna do today for learning Finnish? I don't even know. I'm too tired. I'm not. I don't have the energy. I mean, actually, I'm curious. What do you guys think about about the new year? Did you make any resolutions? How do you feel about New Year's resolutions? My resolutions are more like pirate code. They're just guidelines. All right. Like, one of my goals is, and I probably mentioned this in previous years because it always comes up at the beginning of the year, I want to run a 3-hour marathon. But things happen, and so we'll see. My goal isn't so much to achieve this time as it is to achieve the training. Like, my goal is just to do the training to get to a place where, like, I'm ready to get the 3-hour marathon. Whether or not I do run it in 3 hours on the day of the marathon is another question. But that's kind of my goal, at least in terms of that. Other things that I did, and this, I don't know, this is such like a me thing to do, and it probably says something about some, I don't know, mental disorder I have. But I went to the Harvard nutritional website. I find that stuff very helpful. Go to Harvard Nutrition and just start reading through it. And it's like kind of eye-opening. Like, this isn't just science. out in the world. This is like literally affecting you every day, what you choose to eat. And I did a little personal assessment, and I took inventory. I also got ChatGPT to help me a little bit, because I was like, you know, according to Harvard's guidelines, what do you think about this? And then it would be like, well, that's pretty good, but actually you're kind of missing this and this, or maybe you're eating too much of. So like for me, one of my problems is I probably eat too many flour tortillas, because I like having a big taco / burrito. You know, that's what and then I put couscous in it as well. And couscous isn't the worst thing, but it's also kind of a processed grain, and I want to try and eat more whole grains. And I've known this for a while, but I didn't really act on it as much. And so lately I've been eating more quinoa. And actually, you know, the funny thing is, despite me being vegan, I don't eat enough vegetables. It's true. It's like literally like almost half your plate should be vegetables. And I wasn't really, but I found a trick. Get frozen vegetables and just microwave them, right? Just microwave some frozen broccoli or peas, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts, you know, and boom, there you go. And you got like a beautiful, delicious green ensemble on your plate. And so I'm trying, and then I'll have like for example, what I ate today, I had half the plate was with those greens, and then I had quinoa, and then I had some red lentils and kidney beans. And this is the best thing I love about the Harvard Nutrition Guidelines. There is no limit on fat. There's no limit on healthy fat like nuts and olive oil. And so I put a generous amount of tahini, olive oil, salt, and pepper. And it's like a sauce, you know. And so then it tastes, it's so simple. Like, I'm not doing anything fancy or making any, I don't know, but it's like, I love it. And I only just started making that, and I'm kind of like, man, I should be eating this. I should have been eating this more often. So that's my rant. That's one thing I'm changing. Also, now I'm eating more fruit, and I maybe I should look into the healthiness of this, but I don't like fruit for a couple reasons. I mean, I love fruit, but I don't like buying fruit and then you have to like peel it, you know, or you have to like chop it up. You know, like, I just want something I can take out, put it there, and eat it. I don't want to be prepping stuff. However, I found that you can just purchase canned fruits, like canned peaches, mango, papaya, and I don't know, some other stuff. And now I'm just having that. So if I have lunch, I'll have some fruit at the end, like a dessert. And the only question I have is the juice that comes in that can. I don't know how much sugar was added to that. But I don't know. I don't know if I've the amount of added sugar might be a problem, though it might not actually, because fruit already have so much sugar in them. But anyways, yeah, that's something else I'm changing, because I also eat too many of those digestives, the digestive cookies. And so having the fruit after helps cut down on that, I don't know, the craving for like just a handful of digestives and some after lunch coffee. Isn't after lunch coffee just like one of the best things? Like, you already had coffee in the morning, and then you have lunch and you're full, and then you just get a coffee, and it's like, yeah, look, the simple things in life. All right, that's what it's about. Okay, but yeah, you guys, what did you did a New Year's bingo card, Doomsday. What's on your bingo card? I've never done a bingo card like that. You kept your last New Year's resolution you made years ago, which was no more New Year's resolutions, JS. Hey, you know, if you don't want to do it, that's no problem. No resolutions for you, Poyu. JS mentioned that the price on chocolate's too high now, but if you think about the fact that for, let's say, 5 Finnish marks, you got a lot of sweets and an ice cream on top. I do also eat chocolate. I love dark chocolate. I love getting the pistachio dark chocolate. That's the good stuff. That's, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do. I also kind of feel like we are a bit too addicted to low prices of consumer goods. You know, maybe that's also because I read a lot and care a lot about nature. And when you see how nature is just being so heavily exploited, the cost is being passed on. It's being externalized, negative externalities, that it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think we should feel so entitled to low prices. That's not to say that like prices being raised is a good thing, especially if like it just means corporations make more profit, you know? But yeah, that's kind of, I do agree that like it is a bit much sometimes the way that we've turned Earth into Factorio, you know, and it's a bit too much. Bingo's a cool idea, and you put small and big things that you like to do and achieve. That's actually that is a cool idea. Frozen hemapa. What is that? Hemapa. Oh, is that a frozen veggie mix in the grocery store? Hey, you're vegan too, Doomsday. Cool. And you've recently been eating less veggies and really should. Well, I encourage you. You know when you find these little hacks, like just get frozen veggies. You don't have to cook every day. You can buy frozen stuff and then just heat it up. And maybe in some cases it's not as healthy or whatever, but like it's still gonna be pretty darn good. and like broccoli tastes so good. When did broccoli become uber delish? Not raw broccoli. Raw broccoli, get out of here. I don't want to see that. But like steamed broccoli, you know, I love that. Although cauliflower can just take a hike. I don't like cauliflower, and I don't want to see it, except when I have to kind of eat it because it's available. And I'm trying to get a diversity of things so that I'm not just eating the same thing every day. But I like, okay, you know what? Since we're talking about this, I might as well show you Harvard nutrition. Is it Nutrition Source? Whatever. Okay, yeah. The healthy eating plate. This is the image I was talking about. All right. Please do yourself and your body a kindness. Take a look at this website if you get a chance. I mean, because it's all like whatever the best science kind of tells us about how we should eat. And again, there's no like, the science doesn't tell us to eat exactly a plate divided like this. This is the recommendation for practical use. But yeah, and stay active. Yeah. How many of you are taking up like more exercise in some way? The euro did make everything more expensive. Yeah. You just ate an orange 27. Yeah, that I got okay, you know what? I have a controversial opinion. Mandarins suck. Clementines rule. Okay? Mandarins have this leathery little skin on it. Some mandarins are delicious, but the ratio of like good mandarins to bad mandarins is way too low or unbalanced. You know, when you get a mandarin, you're like, oh, this is going to be good. but then it takes like an hour to peel it because the leather is so stuck to the rind. And then you finally get it. You're like, oh yes, and you bite into it and it's just dry. There's just nothing left, as if the plant is just pranking you. Clementines are not like, clementines have like rich, soft, I mean, they have like a tough skin, but it's not so attached to the fruit inside. So it's much easier to peel off in like 2.4 seconds. And then boom, you're immediately getting into the meat and it's delicious and it's so sweet. So yeah, that's my controversial opinion. Look, are we supposed to learn Finnish at some point? But yeah, this is one thing I was looking at for New Year's that I'm like, yeah, and it's not that complicated. And actually, ChatGPT can be good, because if you just like copy and paste some of this into ChatGPT, and then ask, be like, okay, I'm gonna have this, and then you find a recipe that you've cooked. You could then put the ingredients from the recipe into ChatGPT and ask how it stacks up, and it'll be like, oh, actually, you know, it has a lot of healthy protein in it or whatever, right? But then it'll make recommendations for what else you could add, or I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I really do enjoy this kind of nerdy stuff. That's how my brain works. You don't understand the frozen mashed potatoes. Actually, I'm gonna try and not eat potatoes. That's one of the recommendations about vegetables. Potatoes and French fries don't count as vegetables. Harvard is like, yeah, no. You've had your chance, potatoes, but I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with having just like boiled potatoes. The problem with potatoes, according to the research, is that they're addictive as potato chips and fries. And so people tend to eat a lot of those and then become overweight with whatever. So it's better to get other veggies. Also, because a potato is just like pure starch. It has very little other nutritional content to it versus like a carrot or a bell pepper. Those bring so many more vitamins and nutrients and whatever than a potato. But that's not to be, I'm not anti-potato, but I'm gonna try and avoid eating them just because, like, again, if I can, I'm already having this problem of not eating enough vegetables. Or not enough variety of vegetables. So I'm gonna try and make those decisions. But yeah, JS, you know you're not eating that healthy. You're missing some, but you don't really care. But you do walk an hour or more almost each day. Yeah, I think, and I'll to give some encouragement. You know, this kind of stuff. It's easy to look at this and be very discouraged. And if that's the starting point, then, you know, that's not a good starting point. Right? I think that's one thing I've noticed as a runner who actually loves running. A lot of people start running because they're trying to like fix something else. And it comes from a negative place in a way, because they're trying to lose weight. They're trying, which is a good thing, but running then becomes associated with something they don't want to do that they have to do. And then it's much harder to have joy. So, you know, if I don't know, what is it? If the bug bites, if you have an itch to scratch, to, you know. So yeah, I think that's also maybe why, like, I enjoy this stuff, because I can clearly see ways I can improve, and I find that very encouraging, you know. But no worries if you're not into this kind of stuff. But obviously, yeah, staying active is such an important thing. So The co-op brand bananas are too sweet for you, 27? I just get the whatever the organic bananas are. That's what I get. Typically from Peru. DV, you think in Finnish nutritional recommendations, potatoes are counted as carbohydrates and thus whole grains? Oh my god. So actually, and I don't want to get on like a political rant here, but that's also why I really like the Harvard nutrition source, because it's not affiliated with any organizations. I mean, apart from Harvard, there's no money coming to it from special interest groups. It purely is looking at the science and the best that we know about nutrition, as opposed to, for example, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which is kind of a weird department to be making nutritional recommendations. That is, in the U.S. historically, that department has been like heavily influenced by meat and dairy, and still to this day they recommend having milk or some dairy product with every meal, even though there's literally no scientific evidence that that's beneficial. Among other problematic aspects of what they recommend. And it's such a problem that Harvard directly addresses this in their was it in the frequently asked questions? I don't remember. I don't know where to find this, but it basically does say like, how is this different from the USDA's, recommendations? And that's why I prefer this. It's more evidence-based. And also I'm vegan, so I don't know. I have a very strong bias against those industries that, produce animal products and the way animals are treated in them. But anyways, yeah, the healthy eating plate. Check it out. But yeah, I'm not surprised, Evie, if in Finland potatoes are considered part of. But I mean, also understandably, like I don't want to be on a high horse here. Like it's very recent that we've achieved such levels of prosperity, and like that there were times when like literally all you had were like potatoes. It was different times maybe when Potato rice pasta are what can be called lisuke. You think they're confusing normal potatoes with processed potato stuff, JS? Wait, who's confusing what? The Finnish nutritional recommendations? JS, you found the new Finnish recommendations ridiculous for you by the amount of vegetables, fruit one should eat daily. It's almost as much as you eat daily. Wait, why is it? Wait, hold on. If it's I don't know if I understand. Why is that ridiculous? If the recommendation is exactly the amount that you already eat, why is that ridiculous? I'm missing something. You wrote that comment in English and I still didn't understand it. I'm sorry. That is the level of my intelligence after the holidays. But yeah, when you were an exchange student, Helion. Oh, and by the way, welcome in, Helion. I don't know if I saw you earlier, but Happy New Year to you. You were in KS. Is that Kansas? You're very surprised to note how much chips were used as potatoes in meals in America. That was in the U.S. I mean, I don't doubt it. Yeah. Chips are a treat. You wonder if I missed the recent Leikkeelle as the Finnish recommendations were updated a few months ago. I remember seeing news about it. I remember seeing news. But yeah, I don't remember exactly. I don't know if I actually looked into it. How often do they update the healthy eating plate? Well, they do have over here. Look, the nutrition source update. Actually, I think it's this recommendation here. The actual plate has remained. That there hasn't been any evidence since like 2012 or so that would change the makeup of this plate when they first made it. However, I did see that they do change some recommendations if studies but not, it's never been to such an extent that they would change this. Also, they do point out that there's no like true science of like what's the ratio. People ask this question of like, well, am I supposed to like put it on a plate like this and have a quarter of it whole grains? But just, is that by volume? Is that by weight? Is it just a visual guess? Right? And it really kind of comes down to a visual guess. But that's also kind of the point, that your diet, nobody is going to have a scientifically perfect diet, that there's enough variability. And this is sort of a goal, a reminder of like, if you're pursuing this, and importantly, you're eating a diversity of things, that's like, you don't want to be eating every meal the same vegetable. You have one vegetable here, one whole grain, and one protein and one fruit, and just eat that every day. That might be healthier, than other diets where you're just eating, burgers and fries and, highly processed stuff. But that's still going to be less healthy than trying to find rotations of different vegetables. And of course, like if you might have meals that don't fit on a plate like this. And then you kind of have to then think a little bit more. Like if you make a curry, and the curry contains a bunch of different things, and it's like, well, I don't really know, what percent of it is protein, and obviously if you make a curry, you can then make some brown rice with it or whatever. So, you can still find ways to, I don't know, to work with it. But yeah. As they recommended ditching the processed cold cuts from sandwiches. Yeah. Yeah, any sort of processed meat product is quite bad. Like, yeah. But that's not something I would need to worry about anyway. If the amount of food is the same, all you would eat are fruits and veggies only, JS? Wait, what do you mean? Like you wouldn't have whole grains? I guess what do you mean by the amount? Is it they made a recommendation in terms of like the grams, and that's already what you eat? Just, I don't know if I understand. But also I might be a little slow, so don't worry if you don't want to explain it to me. What are mushrooms? Not vegetables, fruits, whole grains, or protein, just mushrooms. Well, actually, Poyu, if I look at the graphic here, Harvard has included mushrooms, at least graphically, with the vegetables. Though I also know mushrooms can be quite high in protein. And that's also kind of like one of the problems, is that protein is in, like, all of these vegetables have protein. They're just not protein dominant the way that, I don't know, other kinds of healthy proteins are, like peas and lentils and beans. Eating all kinds of food daily. When did this turn into like Tyler's nutritional guidelines? I was just talking about my recommendations or my resolutions. And at the turn of the year, I realized maybe I should just try. I don't have to change everything, but why don't I just try? And I found it so delicious to make a plate. I actually made a plate like this, except I put the fruit in a bowl because the fruit, came in the can with the juice, and so it wouldn't have, fit on the plate very well. And I had it for dessert. So I just had a plate exactly like this, and I drizzled it with tahini and olive oil. It tasted so good. I was like, this is like a hack. I'm like, it was so easy to make as well because it was just beans, and the beans were from the box. Normally I would like cook my own beans, but at times I don't. At times I don't cook all my whatever legumes. You saw the US ketchup counts as vegetables in school meals. Oh, please. America. No, I hope that's not true. I really hope. On me, 0.5 kilograms of vegetables a day is a lot. If you add the rest of what you eat, you're definitely full and need several hours of rest. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the Finnish recommendations, but yeah. We do need to be eating more vegetables in general. How much healthy oils should you have? It looks as from the picture almost as much as water. You just drink it. You just drink it. Oil and water. It says here, use healthy oils like olive and canola for cooking, on salad, and at the table. Limit butter, avoid trans fat. And actually, over here, it says that there's no upper limit. At least scientifically. And this also is one of these, I don't want to say controversies, but there's a lot of fad diets, for example, like the keto diet, that basically reduces all carbohydrates. And you or like the Atkins diet, where it's all you're eating is just fat. And it's counterintuitive because if you eat fat, shouldn't that make you fat? But it turns out that you can actually lose weight on this particular diet. Though the keto diet is actually quite dangerous because you shouldn't stop eating vegetables because vegetables are carbs. It's kind of like it goes against a lot of scientific thinking in terms of a healthy diet. It could be a healthy diet for you medically speaking, but typically like a keto diet or that kind of thing should be like with a doctor and not like you're doing it for a fad. But I'm not really an expert on that. I'm just pointing out that if healthy fats aren't bad for you in higher amounts. Yeah, fat is an important part of a healthy diet. They have lower disease risk. Foods high in good fats include vegetable oils such as olive, canola, sunflower, soy, and corn, nuts, seeds, and fish. And then bad fats, any sort of hydrogenated oil. And saturated fats, not as harmful as trans fats, but foods containing large amounts of saturated fat include red meat, butter, cheese, and ice cream. Some plant-based fats like coconut oil and palm oil are also rich in saturated fat. And so, that's another thing. I will have like coconut cream or coconut milk in my curry. But again, it's one of these things where it's not like you're going to die if you eat it. It's all about balance. And so for the sake of the curry, I'll put the coconut milk in it. But again, it's the primary, the coconut milk is more of a very small percentage of the overall curry. Yes, and also I think this site does a pretty good job of outlining the real health risks around red meat and butter. And just in general, a lot of the animal products that contribute to some of the the bigger health risks in life. But and the other thing is like, there's food is so like psychological and cultural, and like it's not as simple as like be healthy and do this. So it's something very personal. It's very spiritual. So I don't know where I was going with that. Just, hey, no pun intended, but take it with a grain of salt. But also actually take it with like a healthy dose of not salt, because literally your life could depend on this, you know. Right, this is your you only get one body, you only get one life, right? And you know, obviously you might enjoy eating a lot of unhealthy things, and that's one way to spend life, but take care of. And the other thing is, I found that when you eat healthy food actually tastes good. Like vegetables and fruits are delicious, right? Like it's surprising how delicious food can be in such a simple way. You don't have to be eating raw kale like a triceratops to be healthy. All right, hold on, wait, I got to take a break. I'll be right back. All right. Maybe what I was trying to say is I respect wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you know? And food is part of your spiritual journey, right? I choose to see it that way. But yeah. Ketchup as vegetable controversy stemmed from proposed regulations of school lunches by the USDA's FNS service in 1981. Of course it was in the Reagan administration. The regulations were intended to provide meal planning flexibility to local school lunch administrators, coping with cuts to whatever. That seems evil. That you cut funding for school lunch for children, and instead that you recommend that ketchup is actually part of a healthy diet. Like, oh, yeah, ketchup. You get your vegetables from ketchup. Oh, of course. Like, there's something about that seems evil, because it's also it's children in school. It's just so confusing to me sometimes when you think about like where are our priorities when countries are so wealthy, but they're like, yeah, no, we can't afford to, you know, buy lunch for children. Sorry, even though it's like, as a teacher, I remember we were studying like pedagogy, and I had a special interest in understanding what are the factors that affect student outcomes the most. And a lot of those factors have nothing to do with the teacher. Like, right, like they have everything to do with what did the kid eat? How much did the kid sleep? What did they eat before coming to school? What did they eat at lunch? You know? And it's so simple, but we focus so much on like, how can we control children in the classroom, when, you know, I'm not saying that just feed children and all our educational problems go away, but like, yeah, sometimes I feel like we got our priorities wrong. But where were we? You must say you eat about a teaspoon of coconut flakes every now and then, have no problems with dry skin, dull hair, digestion issues, and even your brain's not working the way they should. So eat coconut. Yeah, I've heard coconut can be healthy. But yeah, I think the coconut oil or coconut milk, if you're using a lot of that, it has so much saturated fat. But it sounds like the way you're consuming it is fine. I don't know when I suddenly elected myself to be a nutritional pundit you know, like I've got some authority over here to dish out a judgment. But yeah, palm oil should be avoided just simply due to the destruction of environments. I think especially in Southeast Asia, right? A lot of rainforest is being cut down for palm oil plantations. Yeah, I've stopped purchasing stuff with that as well. And I even changed my digestives cookie brand because I used to get one brand, but now I actually got the cheaper brand, and it's like the store brand, and there's no palm oil in it. And I'm like, hey, this is a win-win for me. The cheapest digestives, no palm oil, and still incredibly delicious. So I thought to myself about these digestives. I'm like, are these whole grain? But I'm not going to consider them whole grain. If it tastes like a cookie, it's a cookie. All right. Like, it's not the same as having a portion of, you know, brown rice or quinoa, right? You're eating a cookie that just happens to have whole grain in it. Hey, I still like having them, but yeah, not as much. I think I sometimes I might have too many of those, and I kind of get away with it because I'm very active and I run a lot, so I'm not at risk of like the health complications related to being overweight, right? But that being said, I feel like I'm still missing out on the health benefits of just eating more vegetables, right? Instead of filling myself up with not carbs, but grains, you know. Yeah. Your New Year's resolution is to stay out of shape, 27. Maybe you won't stick with this one either. Oh, that's reverse psychology. I like that. JS, most fruits are nice, yeah, but they are somewhat hard to come by, especially in winter. And actually, yeah, JS, this is why I decided I'm just going to start buying canned fruit. Because I know my psychology, and I won't eat fruit if I have to peel it every time. Or if, you know, like, also I'm kind of allergic to like apples. If I bite into an apple, there's something in the skin that now I have an allergic reaction to. It's nothing like deadly, but it's uncomfortable. Like my mouth goes numb. But if the apples are cooked or already prepared or something, like peaches as well, like I've had this reaction with peaches. But if the peach is in a can, I don't have a reaction because the skin has been removed. Of course, it's probably less healthy when it's in the can because, yeah, you don't get the skin. Maybe there's added sugar or something happens to it in the process of it being canned and it loses some nutritional value. But I would rather be eating fruit from a can as a dessert than to just be eating cookies, you know. Like that's yeah. You can make trade-offs. And actually, I mean, if you're interested in 27 is I have to go get a burger soon. 27, come on. It's a microwave burger too, I bet, right? 27. Wait, not because of birds, but because of the discussion topic? What? I don't know. Turkin Pipuri bag earlier. It's been a while since he had those previously. Got 1 kilogram of Vihreat Kulat for Saturnalia. They've been eaten by now. Kept several days break between boxes. I don't know this Turkin Pipuri. But you know what? I'm gonna Google it. Is this... Oh, it's just Turkish pepper. I was thinking, I'm like, oh, are these like a type of bell pepper? Oh, that seems pretty healthy. Yeah. No. Okay, I do need to actually practice Finnish. Okay, as much as now I'm turning this into just a nutrition rant. And of course, everyone's nutrition is going to be a little different. So, and importantly, don't blame yourself. All right, don't blame yourself. Life, elämä on lifey. All right, as a great Finnish intellectual once said, you just gotta live with it. All right, you gotta accept life as it's happened, and you aren't to blame for your problems. At least you're not entirely to blame. I mean, maybe if you did something really awful, then you might be to blame for that. But you know, yeah. I just want to give some positive energy out to you guys. Because for me, being positively motivated is the only way I can be motivated. I have never done anything in my life out of guilt, or if I might start doing something, but I've never been consistent. So yeah, be good because you are good. All right, I wanted to share with you what is it, the full helping. If you're curious and trying some delicious vegan recipes, the lady that runs this, I'm gonna cross myself up here. She is the goddess of vegan food, and I'm a bit biased because I found her book in the library right as I became vegan, and it totally changed the way I approach. I don't know. It changed a lot of how I viewed vegan food, because vegan food can still be very creamy and delicious and savory and filling. I mean, doesn't this look good? Winter wheat berry salad with warm dates and apple cider vinaigrette. And was it Jenna? She's a registered dietitian. She does a really good job. I haven't tried all her recipes, but I can vouch. Her Buddha bowls. She does really good Buddha bowl. Is that even? How do you spell Buddha? I don't. Buddha bowl. Does she have a recipe here, or maybe it was just in her book? Yeah. Oh yeah. Here, how to create a perfect vegan lunch bowl. And the idea is also she does really good sauces. Like, that's where I learned how tahini makes for a really good sauce. And like, look at this. Look how delicious this is. Vegan farro bowl. You know, it's got chickpeas. I don't even know what kind of grain that is, but it looks good. You know? And some kind of sauce. The key to being vegan is sauce. Okay, you gotta be generous. And that's also why I'm so relieved. I'm so relieved that the healthy the scientists over at Harvard point out that, like, yeah, you can eat pretty much as much olive oil as you want. I mean, obviously within reason, as long as you're eating all these other things, but you shouldn't feel bad about adding really savory sauces to your food. So maybe my rant is over. Look, at least it wasn't a Tolkien rant. Okay, I get a little carried away. But you guys, I don't know, you tune in for this stuff, so yeah. The nutritional tyrant. That is me. Yep. Canned fruits don't entice you that much, JS. If you've eaten this way for half a century, meh for change. Yeah, it is hard to change our ways. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe that says something about my brain. I like changing things up. You know, I like it when I'm like, ooh, I'm going to do something different. Oh, like even with running. You know, I like running, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to train for a 3-hour marathon and like try to do different types of workouts that I haven't done before that could be beneficial, or not that I actually enjoy every moment of it, because sometimes it's like, why did I sign myself up for this? This is tired. This is exhausting. But I don't know. I like trying out these things. But I don't know. I'm very internally motivated, I guess, or intrinsically motivated. But yeah, maybe JS, you're motivated in other ways or about other things besides diet. Delicious is not a word you'd use. JS. JS. You haven't even tasted this. All right. Actually, I still remember the first vegan meal I ever made. It was hold on. Creamy vegan tomato basil pasta. Something like this. And it was a very popular recipe, but I don't recognize it. I feel like I would recognize. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think putting vegan in the beginning is going to change it. But it had thousands of votes, which is why I'm kind of confused it's not showing up. But anyways, yeah, that was the first thing I ever made, and that was when I learned that you can make creamy like sauces with cashews. Yeah. I don't know what's up with these Google results because it's not any of these, but well, you get the idea. But yeah, I mean, pasta can also. Oftentimes, pasta it doesn't count as your whole grain, right? It's just a refined carbohydrate, basically, refined grain. But you got your burger 27. Your dad, Helion, a chef, was taught early on in his career that, quote, with a good sauce, you eat even a bad mother-in-law. Hey, it's all about the sauce. I've learned that even with eating unhealthy. For example, when you have a burger and fries, the fries are a conduit for ketchup to enter my body. I am confident that very few people would eat as much ketchup as I do with French fries. Like I need the bottle of ketchup on the table with me. That's how much ketchup I'm gonna consume with my fries. That's when I go to Friends and Burgers, that's when I just let loose. I have my burger, I have my fries, and I have my soda. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Not, not every meal has to be perfect, you know? Turkish pepper, no thanks, but unflavored pimavili and sometimes even yogurt is great. Unflavored oat milk is disgusting. I don't even know. I've tried some oat. I think, yeah, some oat. I did a whole oat milk taste test. That's how important it became to me to find the right oat milk. And I ended up with my Elovena, as it's pronounced. Elovena. We've talked about this. That's my favorite oat milk for sure. How much cream is in a creamy vegan pasta? Well, if I remember correctly, it was like a few cups of basically cashews that then you hydrate the cashews in boiling water, or you just pour boiling water kind of over the cashews and let it sit there for like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and then you blend it up with you just blend it up into like a creamy sauce. You might drain some of the water out so it's not too runny when you blend it. But also cashews are a healthy type of fat. And I've had cashew cream. It tastes better than any animal cream that I ever had before I was vegan. That's also what kind of convinced me when I became vegan, that I was like, whoa, like good food doesn't have to have animal products in it. Okay. And But I don't know. Maybe there's something about my brain. I'm a different person, okay? I wish I used a chef's hat when cooking on me. It'd be a lot more fun. I should try the Fatzerdumle oat drink. Oh, that sounds awful. I don't even want to think about that. Okay, what am I gonna read today? We're gonna practice a little bit. What is this? Vuoden vaihteen muutokset. Something about changes for the year? Some kind of changes this year. I don't know, vaihte. I always forget that. Suomessa moni asia muuttui, kun vuosi vaihtui. What does this word mean? Vaihtui. In Finland, many things changed when the year changed. With the new year, right? When the year turned or something. I don't know how to translate. We'll translate it. We'll use Google Translate, but let me struggle. Esimerkiksi lääkkeet, kirjat ja elokuvaliput maksavat nyt enemmän. Hey, actually, yes. I am not happy with some of this, okay? I am not happy that the library, or one of the libraries in the capital region, has raised its fees. So now, I'm like, come on. Stop punishing me for being a good, peaceful member of society who just wants to read books. All right? Just look, increase the fines for destructive behavior or reckless behavior. All right? But don't increase fines simply because I, forget to pick up a book, when I've reserved it, or I forget to return a book for a day. Like, how desperate is a library to have every piece of media on time? Look, I get it. I'm responsible. And I'll pay whatever fee, but also, they raised the prices of the HSL tickets. What the heck, man? Using public transport is so critical for society, not just as a mode of transport, but as a way of life. All right? It's what enables us to not live like America. Like, I get it that maybe it's already being subsidized, but like that's what we're there for. We are a society. Let us participate. But anyway, yeah. Not happy about that. But also because cars suck. Cars just ruin everything. And they just make so much noise. They take up so much space. I have been campaigning for years. And by campaigning, I mean complaining about it occasionally here on YouTube. I have made whatever. I've noticed that our city, I say our city, Helsinki, would be so much nicer if we banned street parking and if we limited certain streets for cars. We need more pedestrian streets, and we just need to reclaim all that empty space that cars just sit on basically for free. Don't we have enough space underground for people to put their cars? Why does it have to be sitting out on the street where we could have community gardens? We could have parks, even just a tiny strip of green stuff, right? Like plants or gardens or trees even would really improve the quality of life for people living, in these tiny apartments in the city center. But I know that's just me. Make some of these streets tram only or bus only, that's my view. But yeah, anyways, so here we go. for example, medicine, books, and movie tickets now cost more. Vaihtua is a change, or to change, when the year changed. What's the difference between this change and this change? Is there a difference? Yeah, with all the cuts everywhere, libraries need to get their monies where they can. It's sad because, yeah, I mean, we just have to be realistic that the library can't be like sufficient the way it was, I don't know, 50 years ago, or 100 years. Maybe 100 years is too long ago. But like, books are no longer such highly valued media that people would, like, I don't know. But books are still so important. And not just books, but all the other media that the library provides. Like, over the holiday, I played all of the new Legend of Zelda game on Switch because I got it from the library. I was surprised that the Switch game didn't have 9,000 people reserving it, because typically anything popular at the library has, like, you gotta wait until you're 97 years old before, you know, your reservation comes through. But I got it and I played through it, and I was really glad that, like, that was a library. I got a video game for free and I beat it. And then I returned it, and I was glad I didn't buy it because it wasn't that good of a game. It was good enough that I played it to the end, you know, and I enjoyed for the most part. But there was not necessary for me to pay whatever, like 50 euros that Nintendo charges for a video game, which is kind of outrageous now I think about it. But yeah. Am I triggering people in chat with my anti-car opinions? Look, I'm not judging you if you aren't from Helsinki or you live in a place where, like, literally there are no buses. I know I understand the context is different for those cases. But you better be eating your vegetables, okay? I don't want to hear any excuses, JS. I'm going to start calling you out by name. But yeah, I guess my point with the libraries is also, like, the more that you raise the fines, just the fewer people are going to come. And that then it creates a negative feedback loop. And again, you want to motivate people to engage in society in a positive mindset and not from a punishment mindset where you're only behaving because you're going to get punished and not because you want to be part of a good and beautiful society. All right, like Plato's Republic with the philosopher. Just where are the philosopher kings? They should have. We should have them by now, right? It's been 2,500 years since the Republic. But anyways, okay, coming back to you guys. This is one of those times when we use more words for one English one. Muuttua, to change. Vaihtua, to change. Probably more like exchange, but also only to change. Vaihtua, to change from something to another, like a previous year changes to the current year. Vuosi vaihtuu. Auton vaihdetaan renkaat. The car has its wheels changed. Is that what that means? Or its tires? The city center shops will leave if you ban cars. Any city would be better banning cars on some streets / parking outside. I guess, you know, and I mean, look, I'm willing to compromise. I just feel like it's 100% car. like every street is basically just all car parking. It doesn't even feel close to being balanced. It feels like whatever the default was in the 1960s has been adopted. And we're like, yep, that's it. We're just going to stick with that. That the city centers dying by car banning is just car owner propaganda. I actually agree with that. I totally agree. It's propaganda. And like there's so many good studies on this showing how like smart urban planning works. And there are no studies showing how cars like how cars are really the key, the linchpin for human transport that enable the best, most flourishing societies. You know, like, come on. Unless it was sponsored by Henry Ford, you know, like I haven't found good arguments in favor of cars. Not that there can't be a place for the automobile in a city. It just needs to be very limited. Ideally, I feel like, can I just be dictator for like a month or something, and we can, I feel, and everybody, I'm going to treat you like children. Because I'm dictator, I get to do this. Everybody has to leave their car. It's kind of like now in schools can now in Finland now ban phones in class unless the teacher is using the phone for some purpose, right? It has this, you know, students have like, and it's up to the school now how they do this. I want to do the same thing with cars. Everyone has to leave their car outside the classroom. All right, when you come to my classroom, aka the city limits, your car has to stay in some sort of car facility that will be very nice. It'll be a very nice, safe, clean. Like, also, who wants to park their car on the street anyway in winter? Like in Finland, the weather, it deteriorates your car anyway. So we'll provide facilities that protect. Maybe we'll even integrate services at these car parks, these giant car garages, where you can have your car serviced while it's there. You don't even have to worry about driving it to the dealership or whoever, you know, the mechanic. Boom. And I think part of the reason is people just, they're so stuck in their way that they're like, if I don't have my car within, like, right outside my door, what will I do? You'll adapt. That's what you'll do. You'll adapt, and you'll find that the new world that you live in under my superior dictatorial power is awesome. Okay? Also, we're bringing back Pokemon Go because that was dope. We're going to rewind the clock to the summer 2016, and we're all going to play Pokemon Go again because we need that. We need those sort of collective conscious moments of us all doing stuff outdoors together. There you go. That's my manifesto. Also, everyone is vegan. Yeah, not gonna upset anybody. I don't know if I'd be a very popular dictator now that I think about it. But we all play video games. Video games are free, okay? State-sponsored video games. If you say vuosi muuttui, it kind of means the year became different. Say a 400-day year. Okay, I see what you mean. That's a good way of explaining it, Poyu. Vuosi muuttui is like the year evolved into a different type of year, as opposed to just the year changed to the next year. Muuttua. I mean, muuttua just to me sounds like mutation. Maybe it comes from that, the same root. But like the year mutates. Is that a good way of explaining it? Like in English, it's something that mutates changes in some internal way. It's not just that the number of the year, you know, clicked over to the next one. The year mutated into 2025. Vaihtoa is maybe more of a switching over type of thing. Look, I'm just going to give you some positive encouragement, guys. You're doing a great job explaining the Finnish language to me already. Right out of the gate, I ask a question and boom, in chat, you guys are helping me out. It's much appreciated. It warms my heart. It warms my cold Finnish heart. I had a warm American heart before I came to this country, and it is frozen. It's like I've been touched by the others in Game of Thrones. Also, another resolution I made, because I believe in like not just difficult resolutions, but fun resolutions. I'm listening to A Song of Ice and Fire on audiobook, and I'm loving it. I'm going on my runs. It's perfect too when I go for my run and there's so much snow. And then I'm listening to a chapter where Jon is at the wall, or with Tyrion is at the wall. I'm just at, you know, the beginning of Game of Thrones book, and they go to the wall, and it's cold and there's snow, and like, it feels like I made a good decision listening to the audiobook. So yeah, I don't know where I mentioned that from, but yeah, that's a positive change. Oh, I think I made a Game of Thrones reference. How much is the gas these days when it comes to cars? Is it actually cheaper to buy a traveling card for public transport than gas or electricity? You don't have a driver's license? I'm pretty sure it's more expensive to have the car. Like, yeah. I mean, one of my friends got a car, and he was telling me how I don't know if he regrets it, but he's like, dude, it's like all my spare income goes to the car, because there's always something to pay for the car, or some part of it breaks and you got to get it fixed, and it costs a lot. It's like, I don't envy him. And the few times that it would be useful to have a car, honestly, I would rather just either rent a car or I don't know, pay someone else to drive me, you know. So also, guys, another important transformation in my life, since we're talking about how much our lives are like changing, our diets are improving, our exercise habits are improving, maybe not all of you, but something else that changed for me this year is I got a new washing machine. My old washing machine broke, and I was really, it broke, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to deal with this, you know, like, and I kind of took it apart to inspect it, but like, yeah, no, it was some piece internally broke, and it was one of those upright washing machines, because where I used to live in Helsinki, I couldn't fit a normal washing machine. Also, why did they design apartments with bathrooms so small? You know, you could just give a little more space there in the corner, so I don't have to. And those top loading machines are like twice as expensive as the front loaders, and they're apparently also less effective at cleaning your clothes. But I digress. It broke. I bought it secondhand anyway to begin with, so it was quite old. It broke, and I just said, you know what? I'm biting the bullet. I'm just gonna buy a new one, and I'm very happy with my purchase decision. All right, I'm not gonna promote, you know, buying things brand new versus secondhand, but I honestly did not want to deal with trying to shop secondhand and communicate with people. And Giganti had a deal. They had a deal, and Giganti will deliver it and take away your old one. And I don't have a car, so I have to have somebody pick up the old one to dispose of it properly, you know? So, and the new one is like amazing. It's so much quieter. It's so much sexier. Is it possible for a washing machine to be sexy? But the way it washes my clothes is like, damn. It just does its job, and it doesn't make a fuss. My old one would be like, and this one is like, I got you. I don't need to do any ridiculous spin cycles. I'm efficient. And it is more efficient than the other one, you know, like less whatever energy. I think it actually does take a little more water because the drum is bigger. But yeah, there you go. Those are my thoughts on. Guys, why am I like this? Does your brain ever go down these rabbit holes and you find yourself saying things like your washing machine is sexy? But yeah. Anyways, okay, coming back to you guys. Yeah, Helsinki does have very large underground parking facilities. I guess that's why I'm confused why we need to have above ground parking or like street parking. It honestly, the city would be so much better. I don't know. Maybe there are cases. I don't know. I don't want to get too much. I've already made my rant on that. Call you anything, JS. You still won't eat vegetables. You resist change in yourself. Hey, look, I tried. When you die, which hopefully is not for a very long time, and you get to the pearly gates, and St. Peter is like, yo, you were supposed to eat your vegetables. And you'd be like, well, no, what are you talking about? I don't. And then he'll be like, on January 7th, 2025, Tyler did a live stream where he called you out specifically, and you said nay. And then he'd be like, but you're pretty cool. You played some good games. You're in. Jesus wants to play multiplayer 007 GoldenEye with you on the N64. Get in there. I don't know if you played N64, JS, but dude, if Jesus played video games, if you think about it, why didn't Jesus talk about video games in the Bible? He knew. If he was God, he knew that video games would exist. But he chose to withhold that information. I'm just saying, Jesus missed an opportunity to teach, about video games. He literally, computers are just rocks. Like, we just taught a rock how to think. Why didn't Jesus just do that and be like, yo, watch this little party trick. Boom, here's a microprocessor. He could have done it. He was God. And then he could have made a video game on that microprocessor and just blown everyone's minds. But he was like, no, I'm just going to turn water into wine. I'm like, dude, you're the creator of the universe. Do something crazy. It's funny when it's like it's almost like I'm reading the Bible. Like I'm a big fan of fantasy, and I'm just disappointed that it's not more fantastical. Where are the dragons? Come on, Jesus. Ride off on a Tyrannosaurus Rex. But yeah. But Doomsday, you agree with all my policies? Good. See, you're gonna be a chief administrator. That's the most important thing, to agree with your dictator. And then you're in the club. Yeah, dictatorship is not about popularity. Yes. You have half a car 27 with your brother. Oh, like you said earlier in Finnish, JS, your new washing machine didn't arrive today as expected. It'll arrive on Thursday. Oh, and you ordered the installing and taking away of the old one? I thought about it, but I decided I didn't want to pay that much extra for some giganti person to come in my apartment, because I'm like, installing it should be really easy. Like I don't consider myself a handyman, but I have enough confidence in myself to be able to hook up the machine, But and also I looked at the price difference with whether they deliver it to your building or deliver it to your apartment, and it was like 20 euros extra for them just to bring it up to your apartment. And since I have an elevator, I was like, you know what, I'd rather save 20 euros, and even if I can't lift it, I can maneuver it. I can just wiggle it over. And the guy who delivered it was so nice. He brought it to the elevator for me on the dolly. He brought it over. Really nice guy. It was funny because he called me before, and so he knew that I was American, or not originally from Finland, because we were speaking in English. And then he's like, hey, I'm just curious, like, what brought you to Finland? And I was like, dude, I don't know. I ask myself that every day. And then I asked him, and he was like, oh, he's like, yes, he's Finnish, but originally from Kosovo. Or I mean, maybe he's originally Finnish, but of Kosovo descent. And he was saying he wanted to leave Finland. So he's like, I'm curious why you wanted to come here. And I was like, hey, well, let's trade passports. All right. You have my American one. All right. We can do a passport exchange. That would be much appreciated. So, but who knows? Maybe I'll be a Finnish citizen in a year. It's possible. It's possible I could get Finnish citizenship. That actually really excites me. To think that it's possible I could. It might be unlikely, but why not? Why not? Like, that would be so weird to get I can't even imagine holding a Finnish passport. Not that I'm ashamed of my American one, but there's something that's so profound that I never really expected I would be able to do that. And now I'm at a point where I've lived here long enough that I actually could. I still have to wait till basically the end of this year, and I have to pass the language exam. And who knows what else they're going to look into and be like, you made a bunch of embarrassing YouTube videos. Sorry, we can't let you in the country. We can't. We only admit cool people into this country as citizens. You don't pass the vibe check. No, but yeah, that's actually kind of a good motivator for me. Guys, I started the stream feeling really groggy and tired because I took a nap and I had just woken up. And now I'm feeling so good. If you can't tell, the amount of ranting, it correlates in a linear relationship with how good I'm feeling. My brain is very active right now, so yeah. Thank you guys for entertaining me. But okay, wait, coming back, you guys in chat, I can't keep up with you. You could have tried to carry it like I did the microwave. I can't believe you remember that, JF. That when I got my microwave, I had it delivered like to the nearest kind of location, like the grocery store. That's like about 5 to 8 minutes, and then I had to carry the microwave on my head because microwaves are heavy. I forgot, and the box that it comes in is so awkward. You can't properly get your hands around it. And it was really hot that day because maybe it wasn't that hot, but I remember being super sweaty when I got home. Yeah. The spin cycle imitation is now your new ringtone. Wait, me? Me imitating the spin cycle or something else? I don't know. The new one is similar to the old one. Same brand, similar programs. Probably just an evolution of the line in 20 years. The new washing machine. But I mean, I do understand it is nice to feel that an expert has come and taken care of your installation and machine. But I was also kind of thinking, I'd rather spend that money on because I was thinking 20 euros, I can go and have like a nice meal, you know? Like, I'd rather spend 20 minutes of sweating to save 20 euros that then I can go spend on something else. Or JS, I can go spend it on video games, which I have and I've been a lot better at playing video games. Like, I'm more consistent at playing my games. And I beat a bunch of games. I have a bunch of short games that I played over the holiday that I enjoyed. Sorry, okay. Guys, I'm going to get through your comments here in chat. You slept a long time and get to stream to Tyler wondering about calling a washing machine sexy. Lorelei, welcome in. Happy New Year. I have not changed. All right. Just so you just in case you were wondering, I had made a resolution to not. No. I am. I continue to be this rambly machine. Wait, you remember today's Christmas in Orthodox Church? Wait, you mean because it technically within the Catholic or whatever, the liturgy, Catholic or Orthodox liturgy, Christmas begins on Christmas Day, the 25th, but the Christmas season is 12 days. That's why it's called the 12 days of Christmas. It's not the 12 days leading up to Christmas Eve. It's the day after Christmas Eve, leading through January, through Epiphany, right? It's 12 days from Christmas to Epiphany, I think. So we're just now past the Christmas season. But yeah. You didn't play N64, but when you die, you just stop being in existence. There will be nothing afterwards. You don't see there being anything. JS. Come on. Oh, you got to play along with the fantasy that I'm creating for you, all right? Yeah, the install was only 20 euros extra on top of that. Oh yeah, the balancing. That makes sense, JS. I think also maybe why my previous machine broke is I don't think it was perfectly balanced. I think it was a little off. And that probably over time contributed to whatever internal piece that just snapped. Yeah. So this time I was super careful. And the machine, it has the little legs that you can unscrew with the bolts, the nuts and bolts, and it makes leveling it so much easier because all 4 legs can change. And I'm very happy with that because the previous machine, I had to like wedge little pieces of rubber underneath, and like, how level are you going to get it using that? But yeah. Also, there might have been cases where I put more than the recommended maximum amount of clothes. Like, okay, who weighs their clothes? Why do washing machines say 6 kilograms? What is 6 kilograms of clothes? Who weighs their clothes before they put it in the machine? Do you keep a spreadsheet of every article of clothing? And then you sum it up to see if it's 5.9 kilograms. Okay, it's ready. No, you just stuff it in the machine, and if the lid closes, you're good. I never like really overloaded the machine or put like heavy things in there, but I think maybe I might have put too much, and it could have led to some deterioration of the internal symmetry. I don't know. But yeah. Guys, we've read, I think, 2 sentences of Finnish, and I couldn't be happier. You have successfully distracted me from learning the Finnish language. So thank you for that. But anyways, what can't you make looking and feeling sexy these days? Who visualizes Jesus as the most good-looking man that has ever roamed the earth? That's white Jesus in, America. Look, you can leave it to us Americans. We will take whatever it is you got, and we'll take it to the next level. All right, we took Christianity, we made it sexy. All right, we made it anything you want it to be, we got it. Sexy Jesus, no problem. Just remember to undo the bolts, holding down the drum for the transport before starting the washing machine. Good advice. I did. Look, do I look like somebody who does not read the instruction manual? I am a reader. Give me the instructions, and I will diligently page through them. That's the type of person I am. I don't understand people who never read instruction manuals. It's like, do you do you just want to live life on hard mode? Like, the manual has the answers. It's literally like just reading an answer book. Come on. So yes, I did read the manual. I followed the recommended safety protocol. I removed those. I didn't even know that washing machines had those bolts in them to, I guess, hold the drum in place while it's being transported, but that's good to know. Yeah. And I knew that because I carefully examined the documentation. Like, if I were a computer programmer, I would be that person who is like meticulously documenting everything. Just like that person who's not actually that good at programming, but just really good at documenting everything. That would be my advantage. But anyways, where Quasimodo had the kindest heart ever, though he looked like Frankenstein's brother. Wait. Why where did Quasimodo come? Are we because we're talking about sexy people or something? I don't know. I should reread that, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Or actually, I don't think I've ever actually read the book. I've seen the Disney movie. But yeah, I would actually like to read that. Was that Victor Hugo? Because I've been wanting to reread Les Miserables, which is one of my all-time favorite books. And I honestly, I don't think I've read it since, over 10 years for sure. And I love the story. I love it's so epic, the story of this man's life. Yeah. But I have some other books I'm reading, so I'll get to it eventually. But okay, it's possible, but a significant amount of language practice is needed, and Swedish is far more likely. What you think, Lorelei, that I'm not going to pass the language exam? Look, believe in me. Believe in me. Actually, I do think I have more of a chance in Finnish than Swedish. I'm not giving my Finnish enough credit. I think my base is getting quite good. I just need to take it to that next level of really internalizing it, you know? And actually on that note, Lorelei, I am thinking about finding other places to practice besides on YouTube with you guys. And yeah, practicing in person with people. I know there's some language cafes and language groups, so I might look into joining one of those. Or maybe even signing up for classes again. You have the worst passport, Doomsday. You would trade it for almost any other. Are you in North Korea or something? What? It does suck that we live in a world where just where you're born predetermines so much of what you can do and whether or not you can visit another country without a visa that you have to pay for, and that's tough. So, well, my condolences, Doomsday. They would probably let your YouTube videos pass, but the veganism, man, maybe not. Yeah, they're that's the final exam for Finnish language fluencies. You have to be able to scarf down a bunch of meat and potatoes. No. You failed your photography exam, 27. You just couldn't focus. Yeah. 27 hasn't changed, all right? 27, your resolution is more dad jokes, all right? You ate your exam paper, which means that sooner or later you will pass the test. Okay, all right. Now you're getting a little carried away. You're getting too creative, all right? Or maybe you're getting too good at this. Okay, I'm not reading your prostate joke. I saw it though. Churches in post-USSR countries celebrate Christmas, Jesus' birth on the 7th. Ah, okay. I feel like I've heard that, but I forgot that it was, yeah, that's cool. Towels weigh a lot when wet, so do bed sheets. Oh yeah, JS. When you're measuring how much your clothes weigh, is it dry or wet? There's no way it's wet, because the machine literally fills up with 40 to 50 liters of water, right? How many kilograms is that? 40 to 50 is a liter of water a kilogram? Is that how much? I'm not used to a sensible metric system, okay? It's important. Part of my cultural inheritance is having no understanding of how volume and weight and length and speed all kind of relate to each other, and temperature. No. One fist should be able to be put in on top of the laundry in the machine. That's how you know it's full. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure I always followed that. But yeah, I mean, the machine I had was quite old, and the previous owner had it for years, and it served me well. It served me really well. Also, because I run a lot of short cycles with my running clothes, and so I think that just over time wore down the bearings. But yeah, I'm happy with my new one. Even though at first I was like, oh, I don't want to spend money to get a new machine, but I decided, this is my Christmas gift to myself. All right, this is I'm not buying a lot of video games or anything this year. I'm just gonna get a new washing machine. Yeah, you've become the destroyers of my learning, 27. The Oppenheimer? Okay, you're not that extreme yet, okay? I'm still learning occasionally. It was Gigante. There might not have been instructions included, just an upsell for an extended warranty. No, I did not get the extended warranty or any of that. But it did come with an instruction book, Helion, but it was all in the Nordic languages, and I wasn't about to let that stop me. So I Googled my model number, and I found the English instructions, and I read them. And the new washing machine has, so I'll say this, Electrolux was my previous washing machine. Very bad, very poorly organized. Like, finding the manuals, it's like you have to use like a third-party website to get the manual to your washing machine. And it feels like the manual is from like 1962. And you don't even know if this is really the same model. Whereas the machine I got now is an LG, and their website, you can just read the manual on their website. You don't have to download some PDF. It's much easier. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just much easier. I'm already happier with the brand change. The brand Vaihto, or the brand Vaihto. A change of brands, but it's not like the brand evolved from one to the next. A Tyler meetup would be a nice way to learn Finnish. That would be kind of crazy. I've always been quite hesitant about like bridging the gap between the virtual YouTube world and the real world. But I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm going to do it, but there is an adventurous part of me that might do something like that. But it would also be like, you guys, it would just be so awkward if we did it for language. Like, if we did it, it would have to be like, just a meetup to hang out. It would be so disappointing for people to come to hear me say like, hello, my name is Tyler. I am American. I speak Finnish. Nice to meet you. Like that's all. That's all I would be able to say. And then they would say like, oh, I really liked your videos. And then I'd be like, I don't understand. Sorry. Can you say that again more slowly? Yeah. Yeah, that would be so awkward. That would be so uncomfortable. Yeah. You would rather have a few plus degrees or several minus degrees. Your lungs like a little more humid weather than dry, ice cold, or hot weather. I was talking with my sister about this, that I much prefer having a cold winter than a hot summer. Like, our summers are so good here. You don't know how bad summer is until you spend it in Texas. You can't even go outside. At least in a cold winter, I can still go outside as long as I wear enough layers. And it's also kind of beautiful. And it feels very cozy. in a way, that you're warm and your layers. And then especially when you get back home, you get inside and you're like, oh, I'll just have a cup of tea and some digestive cookies as a snack. You know, and it's like, it's cozy. The hot summer is awful. Oh, but wait a second. Maybe your question was about plus like a few degrees above freezing. Is that your question? Because that is awful. I always want to have a few minus degrees, and for it to be nice and solid, you know. The plus degrees is when it turns to slush. That's no fun. 1 liter of room temperature water has a massive, almost exactly 1 kilogram. See, I kind of knew that. I expected that, 27. Are you proud of me for knowing some metric units here? JS, you weren't considering a new machine, but decided to look and found one. Yeah, with minus 200 off for €600 normal price. That's a good deal. Yeah, I also got a not that much off, but something like that. Like maybe about €100 off. So I was happy that I was spending less than what I kind of was expecting. I thought I was gonna have to spend a bit more. So yeah. Yours is AEG. I don't think I've ever had one of those. But yeah. You have a Whirlpool 127. Board gaming meat might be nice, JS. We could go to one of those board game cafes or something. They've got them around Helsinki. Yeah. But wait, okay. Let's finish this article. We talked about, for example, medicine, books, and movie tickets now cost more. Movie tickets is kind of weird because that's like medicine and books are like social kind of services, you know? Although I guess books, here it's referring not to the libraries, but to like bookshops, right? So, okay, maybe it's the prices are rising due to economic factors, not simply policy changes, which is what I was originally thinking. But I don't know, maybe the medicine is actually related to policy as well, because a lot of that is controlled. But anyways, muutoksia tuli myös esimerkiksi asumistukiin ja lapsiperheiden verotukseen. At what? The changes come also, for example, to... Why do I want to say this is like living? Asum. Because I'm thinking of asua, like asun. Asumistukiin, like to residences, I don't know. And children, lapsiperheiden, children families. Verotukseen. Is this taxes? Why do I know vero is tax. So that's what I'm thinking. There's also changes to some sort of child families. Families with children? Is that what this is referring to? But yeah, we'll come back to this. Uutisviikko selkosuomeksi kertoo, mikä kaikki muuttui. The news week, the week's news in clear Finnish says what all is changing, or talks about what. How do you even translate it? I can't speak English. It talks about all the things that are changing. Lauantain ja sunnuntain lähetykset löytyvät selkouutisten nettisivuilta. It's helpful to think of it as separate words. Sivu is page. The nettisivu is the web page. But yeah. On Saturday and Sunday, what lähetus? I should know what lähetus means, but I don't remember now. Something it finds, they find, löytyy that. Löytyy. Löydä is to find. Löytyy that. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's sort of like So, I don't know. Something can be found, but that's not the passive. We're gonna have to translate. Google, help me. Yeah, medicines, books, and movie tickets now cost more. There were also changes to housing benefits and taxation for families with children. It's funny how, like, Finnish is English backwards. Right? Taxation for families with children. It's literally, like, this word is taxation. And then for families is the second half of this word. And then with children is the first half. Oh. But yeah. The weekly news roundup. What how would we even say this in English? The weekly news summary. In clear Finnish or easy Finnish tells you what all has changed. Saturday and Sunday broadcasts, lähetykset, the broadcast. That's why it's plural. That's why löytyvät is plural, because this is the subject, lähetykset. Those broadcasts can be found. Oh, what? That's why I got confused. Can be found. Maybe this is the, what is it? The intransitive verb. So it's not passive, but it's like to find, like you find someone, but you are found yourself. In English, that's passive, but maybe in Finnish, this is whatever. Is it reflexive? I don't know the terminology, but there's a lot of sort of reflexive or intransitive versions of verbs, if I remember correctly. But yeah, on the Selkosuomeksi website. But anyways, you've been missing Tyler Tuesdays these past 2 weeks. Good to see and hear you. Thank you, Lorelai. I've missed it a little bit as well, but it was also actually really nice. It was really nice to have a couple weeks off. Like, it worked out perfectly that both Christmas and New Year's, I mean, every year those two dates are always on the same day of the week. So it was a Tuesday last year, and yeah, that was pretty nice. Yeah, good to have time off, play some games, read some books. I read some really good books. Actually, if you guys are curious, and I don't want to, The Wager. This book, I recently read this book. A Tale of Shipwreck. This was so good. A Tale of Shipwreck, Mutiny, and Murder. I love learning about history, and also reading this book makes me really thankful that I wasn't born in 1740 England. Like, the lives people lived back then were so hardcore, and I mean, just insane. Like, you know, here I am complaining about cars being parked. You know, their world was so bad. It was like insane. Like, literally, they would have press gangs where the Navy would basically hire a bunch of thugs to go around and kidnap people, to enslave them on the boat as workers, as sailors. And there were no legal protections for people unless you were like super wealthy or a member of the aristocratic noble class. If you got caught by a press gang, you would just be forced on one of these boats, and then you would, you know, and the chance of survival was so low. It was just like, oh my, dude, people were crazy back then. But this is about a shipwreck off the coast of Chile in 1740. And there's sort of a mutiny. I don't want to give anything away, but there's a disagreement that breaks out on the island about what they should do next. And it's crazy. It's really, really well written, and There was another book like this that I think is even better that I read a little while ago called The Batavia. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, this book, Batavia. Wait, is it this one? No, wait. I mean, that's obviously the same story, but it's Batavia's Graveyard. What? Okay, I don't need the full PDF or whatever. Batavia's Graveyard here by Mike Dash. This was even bad. This is a Dutch merchant ship off the coast of Australia that gets shipwrecked. And this was even crazier because it involves a psychopath who basically leads a mass murder on the island. And that island is today like a protected site, partly simply because it's one of the best, most well-preserved areas of like 1600s Dutch society, because all the people that died there were just buried in their, their Dutch clothing, and like, so it's a very good place for researchers to go to, whatever, the archaeology and the study of what Dutch people were like. And maybe it was even the 1500s. Like, does it say? Oh yeah, in 1629. Very good, a true story. I love that kind of stuff. Also, this kind of, when I read books like this, by the way, look, let me just tell you how my brain works. What I want to do is I want to get books that tell me everything about these boats. I want to learn all the terminology. Like I'm a little boy trying to memorize dinosaur names. That's how I feel. I'm like, I want to know the different names for all these different masts and sails and all the different decks, the poop deck. And I want to know where the names came from. Like, why is it called the poop deck? What a ridiculous name. I love learning that kind of stuff, and especially diagrams. If someone draws a diagram and it's like, here's where everything is, I'm like, thank you. I love that. I'm a sucker for maps as well. Tolkien's maps. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm ranting, but yeah, these are some book recommendations if you're interested. But yeah, this one I found out because it won the nonfiction award on Goodreads by whatever popular vote, and I agree, it was actually quite good. I enjoyed it. But anyways, I saw the book you posted in the Discord memes page. I do keep an eye on what you guys are posting, mostly 27 on all the memes. There were a few good jokes. If I really like it, I'll react. You'll see when I react to some of your stuff in the Discord. But yeah. The book made you want to rewatch Good Omens. Wait, which book? The book I'm talking about here? But I actually was about to read Good Omens, but I didn't end up reading it. I got distracted with some other stuff. And I never really got sucked into Neil Gaiman. I've read a few of his books, but I never got sucked. There was one that was like about a graveyard. Oh wait, is that Batavia's Graveyard? Is that, wait, because Neil Gaiman, Good Omens. Anyways, I never got sucked into Neil Gaiman's work as whatever, a fantasy writer. There are a few authors I get sucked into: George R. R. Martin, Tolkien, and sometimes actually China Miéville. This dude has to be the most insane creative person. like you haven't read fantasy, like science fiction, until you've read China Miéville. Like, his stuff is so weird and so unique. I think that's also what is so fascinating, is like, whatever anybody else has done, don't worry about it. He's going to do his completely own thing, and it's going to be weird and mind-blowing. And he did Perdido Street Station, which super good. Although actually, this might be too difficult. The language is very Victorian, and he uses a lot of old words that are no longer in use, which I appreciate because I'm a language nerd and I like that. But if you're also interested in another book that like it's studied in universities, it's called The City in the City. This book is unbelievable. Like, the concept of this book is that there's two cities that coexist as one city, but culturally they're completely separate. People from one city do not talk to the people from the other city, and there are no walls. You just know what street is yours or not. And you might even be on the same street, but you never acknowledge people from the other city. And it's actually a crime to breach and make contact. And like it's almost like the people, and everyone dresses and looks so different from each other that you wouldn't accidentally make a mistake. And this is a detective story about a murder that happens in a state of breach. And so it calls into question, like, what is the city? What is society? How do we treat each other? Like, it does things so brilliantly, but without being, I don't know, too obvious about it. Like, the story, it takes you down this roller coaster of a detective story, all the while raising these really profound questions about society and like how we treat each other. And also, yeah, incredible, really good. The City in the City. All right, I look at me. Look, if you didn't have New Year's resolutions, let me just hand some out. You know, I made some nutrition recommendations, and now book recommendations. What else? You need some video game recommendations. I can help. But yeah, psychopath or psychopath, maybe a bit of both. Psychopaths are welcomed on the psychopath. Maybe that'll be a good outlet for them, you know. Lorelai, you're gonna go join your mom for dinner, so if the stream ends before you're back, you'll see me next week. Well, I am gonna end the stream here pretty soon, so I will say goodbye. Perhaps you already took off to have dinner with your mom, but yeah, I should wrap up stream as well. Let me just catch up with these last few comments, and then I'll say goodbye to everybody here, because it is past 9 o'clock and I do need to go to sleep. All right. There's a good joke in Family Guy about the poop deck. It's called the poop deck. That is why you pooped there. Oh man. I'll take a look at that. Need a good laugh. Like, you like the Pratchett books about the City Watch? Oh yeah. I do enjoy Terry Pratchett. I never got hooked into the Discworld. Each book I would read, I enjoyed, but the books are also independent of each other. Like, it's not like a series where one book leads to the next. They're all just kind of self-contained tales. And he's very funny, like very well written. You have dyslexia, Doomsday, but you still try to read. Well, good. Currently reading 1984. I read 1984 and I didn't enjoy it. But that's also my taste. Like, 1984 felt too allegorical for me. That I don't know. It felt too much like a Sunday school lesson, but you know, a different type of Sunday school lesson. I don't do well with allegories, or like, I mean, it's not an allegory, I know that, but like books that are so obviously kind of teaching you something, or warning you. But hey, I hope you're enjoying it. I didn't hate the book. It's not my kind of thing, I suppose. But yeah, reading is such a joy. I love reading. It's one of those habits that I'm like, I try to be more intentional about. just read for an hour a day, because it's so easy to not read if now that we have like so many distractions with social media or YouTube or whatever. But when I read a book, I feel like my life is expanding in a way that no other media can achieve. So yeah, reading is good. Hey, make that your New Year's resolution, I guess, if you don't have one. But there are some Discworld books that are sort of sequels to another. Yeah, he wrote so many of them, and a lot of the characters show up. But yeah, I read a few of them, but there were so many. I can't consider myself like a true fan, I guess, a nerd the way I am with Tolkien, for example. But all right, guys. Wait, you like it because of the similarities and where your family came from? Oh yeah. If a book speaks to you for whatever reason, that's a good thing. And well, I hope that your situation is not so dismal as 1984. Doomsday, but hang in there. Hopefully 2025 brings good things your way. In more pork. Career paths of people are determined by phrenology. There were so many clever, funny things in those books. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for joining the stream. PoU27, JF, JS, Doomsday, Helion, Lorelei, and many others. Good to be back. 2025. I'm not used to writing the number 2025 yet. I've already written 2024 multiple times. I refuse. But it's a good start to the year. And yeah, we have a lot to look forward to. And I am really going to try and improve my Finnish. Okay? I just might surprise you. But yeah. Okay, guys, have a good rest of your Tuesday, and I will be back on Thursday for a gaming stream. We've been playing a text-based RPG called Road Warden, and we'll play that. But otherwise, I'll be back on Tuesdays with Learn Finnish with me. So, hope to see you again soon. Take care.